Should you hire a Filipina maid? If you're planning to move here in the Philippines, retire here, or you are settling down with a Filipina, this is probably a question you have asked yourself. Because compared to many Western countries, hiring household help here is much more affordable. But does that mean that you actually need one? Should you hire a full-time maid or just someone who comes once a week? How much should you pay? And if you are married to a Filipina, would she be comfortable if you hire a younger maid? Today, we are going to answer all those questions. But before we do, if you're planning your future here in the Philippines, whether you are planning to bring your Filipina in your country, applying for K1 or marriage visa, or you're planning to settle down here in the Philippines, you are probably going to have a lot of questions. And that's exactly where Filipino Visa can help. They specialize in helping couples through the visa process, and they also specialize in helping foreigners who plans to relocate here in the Philippines. So instead of trying to figure out everything on your own, you can have experienced professionals guide you every step of the way. If you'd like to learn more, I will leave Filipino Visa's information in the description down below. And now, let's talk about whether hiring a Filipino maid would actually be a good idea. I think the first question that you should ask yourself isn't, can I afford a maid? It should be, do I actually need one? Because honestly, not everyone does. If you're living alone in a small condo and you are capable of cleaning after yourself, you might only need someone who comes once a week. Maybe just to clean the bathroom, mop the floors, do the laundry, and that's it. But if your situation might be completely different, maybe you are retired, maybe you have a large house, maybe you travel often, maybe you have children, or maybe you simply want to spend less time doing chores and more time enjoying life, and honestly, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So, let's say you have decided that household help would make your life easier. The next question is, what exactly does a Filipina maid do? And honestly, the answer is it depends. Because every household is different. Every agreement is different. Some helpers only come once or twice a week. They will clean the house, mop the floors, wash the dishes, do the laundry, and then head home. Others work full-time. They may help prepare meals, do grocery shopping, change the bed sheets, water the plants, or even help take care of the pets. And if you have children, some families also hire a helper to help assist with child care. But here's something I really think is important. Never assume just because one helper cooks doesn't mean every helper cooks. Just because one family asks their helper to babysit doesn't mean your helper automatically will. Every responsibility should be discussed clearly and respectfully, because the more expectations you leave unspoken, the more misunderstanding you'll have later. And trust me, most problems don't start because someone is becoming lazy. They start because two people assume different things. So, communication is everything. Another decision that you'll have to make is if you want someone that is live-in or a live-out helper. A live-in helper stays in your home. They have to have their own room, of course, and meals are provided. This setup is very common for a bigger household, families with young children, or retirees that needs special assistance. On the other hand, a live-out helper goes home after work. They might come every day or only a few times a week. And honestly, for many foreigners, I think this is a better option, especially if you are living alone or in a condo. It gives both of you a little more privacy, and it creates a healthier life and work balance. Now, let's talk about a question that everyone asks. How much should I pay? And the honest answer is there isn't a one fixed number. It depends on where you live, what are the responsibilities, whether they are live in or live out, and how experienced they are. In many provincial areas, a part-time who comes once or twice a week might charge somewhere around 600 to 1,200 per day. A full-time live-out helper may earn around 10,000 to 18,000 or more each month. A live-in helper may earn around 7,000 to 15,000 each month, depending on the location, while also receiving free accommodation and free meals. If you're in Metro Manila, you will generally pay more than you would in places like Dumaguete or other provincial cities. But here's something I'd encourage more. If you find someone that is honest, reliable, takes care of your home, and treats your family with respect, value them. Good helpers are incredibly hard to find, and many families keep the same helpers for many years, sometimes even decades, not because they have to, but because there's trust. And trust is worth a lot and hard to find. One more thing, if you're hiring someone full-time, remember, you're not just hiring help. You are becoming an employer. And the Philippines has labor laws that protect domestic helpers. Things like fair wages, day offs, and safe working conditions. So before hiring someone, it's always a good idea to familiarize yourself with those responsibilities. Because doing things the right way will protect both of you and those who are working for you. But now, let's go to the topic that I know many of you are probably waiting for. If you are dating or married to a Filipina, should you hire a younger Filipina maid? And could that create problems in your relationship? Let's talk about it. So let's talk about the question that always comes up. If you are married to a Filipina or you are in a serious relationship with a Filipina, is it a good idea to hire a younger Filipina maid? And honestly, I don't think there's one right answer because every relationship is different. I know a lot of Filipinas who doesn't care. They trust their partner. They are confident in the relationship, and for them, a helper is simply a helper. But I also know Filipinas who would feel uncomfortable. And honestly, I don't think that automatically means they are jealous. Sometimes it's simply avoiding unnecessary temptation or protecting the relationship. Just think about it. You're inviting someone into your home. They will probably see you every day. They will know your routines. They may prepare your meals. They will be around when your partner isn't. And whether we like it or not, that's a level of closeness. So if your partner says, I'd rather hire someone older, I don't think that's an unreasonable request. And personally, if choosing an older helper helps your partner feel comfortable and gives both of you a peace of mind, I think that's a small compromise for a much happier relationship. Now let's talk about another common question. Should you hire one of your Filipino partner's relatives? And honestly, I think this can go either way. There are definitely some advantages. If your partner recommends a sister, a cousin, or another trusted relatives, you might have already a level of trust. Communication is usually easier. But there are also risks, because once you mix family and employment, the boundaries can become blurry. What happens if they are always late? What if they are not doing their job properly? What if you need to let them go? Now, it's no longer just an employer and employee. It's family. And suddenly, what should have been a simple conversation becomes a family drama. So personally, I think if you're going to hire a relative, treat it like a professional arrangement. Be clear about your responsibilities, agree on the salary, talk about the work hours, and don't assume that being family means that there don't need for boundaries. Another question that I hear is if you can hire a working student. And yes, many students in the Philippines take part-time jobs to pay for their school. They can be incredibly hardworking, eager to learn, and very appreciative of the opportunity. But you have to remember that they are students first. Their education should always come before household chores. So, if you are considering hiring a working student, I think it's best for lighter tasks, flexible hours, and making sure their work schedule doesn't interfere with their classes. Helping someone earn an income while they finish their education can be a wonderful opportunity. And before we wrap up, I want to share 5 things that I personally would never do if I'm going to hire a helper here in the Philippines. So number 1 is I would never flirt with a helper. This should probably go without a saying. But if you are married or in a relationship, don't create unnecessary problems. Keep the relationship professional. It shows respect for your partner and to the person working in your home. Number 2 is I would never delay paying their salary. If someone has worked hard, they deserve to receive their salary on time. Many household helpers are supporting their children, their family, or helping pay a sibling's education. So your salary may be their family's source of income. Number 3 is I would never embarrass them. If there's a problem, talk to them privately. You don't need to raise your voice or humiliate someone. Respect should go both ways. And I think people work much better when they feel respected. Number 4 is I would never assume that they know what I want. Every household is different. If you like things done a certain way, explain it kindly. People can't read minds. Number 5 is never ever forget that they are humans too. Never forget that behind a helper is a person. Someone with dreams, someone with responsibilities, and someone who's working hard to build a better future. So treat them the same way you want your family to be treated. Because kindness costs nothing, but it can mean everything. So, I'm curious, if you're living here in the Philippines, would you hire a maid? Or would you rather do everything yourself? And if you already have a household help, what has been your experience like? I would love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment down below. And if you're planning to move to the Philippines, or your relationship with a Filipina is becoming serious, whether that's bringing her to your country through K1 visa or marriage visa, or you are planning to settle down here in the Philippines, don't forget to check out Filipino visa. They specialize helping couples navigate visa process, and they also help foreigners who wants to make Philippines their new home. I will leave their information in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one. Paalam!